Christmas in Wauwatosa, thanks to a Grinch of a city administrator and the leading lights of mainstream television journalism in Wisconsin, Illinois, and across the region gather for the Emmy Awards and a Trump Bash Fest. Welcome to another busy broadcast week here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. So thankful you joined us for yet another foray into broadcast excellence, or at the very least, broadcast competence. I am Dan. It's a glorious sunny day, quite possibly the last time until April. Hell, who am I kidding? The last time until June. We hit 60 degrees this week. Perfect week to get those Christmas lights up. Just not red and green. If you are in Wauwatosa, it can only be depressing blues and purples. A great story we're going to have some fun with from our friends Jim and Jessica at WisconsinRightNow.com. This is blown up nationally over the weekend. And you'd better believe if there is ridiculous liberalism anywhere, we here at the Dan O'Donnell Show will be there to make fun of it. If you would like to join us at any point today, 414-799-1130 is our AdventKnows.com talk and text line. You can reach us toll-free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on Twitter/X. Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. We are streaming live via the DanoCam. I just realized in the first minute and a half of the show, I've ripped off Rush Limbaugh about 4 times. Busy broadcast week, broadcast excellence, although we call it broadcast competence, and instead of his Ditto Cam, we have the DanoCam. All right. I have, in my formerly nicotine-stained hands, the Fall Fortune Cash Contest. Oh, doggone it, I did it again. Can you tell I miss Rush? Can you tell who is my biggest broadcast influence? We do actually do an homage to the great one. And in fact, next week, we do a direct homage. We will play, because I miss it so much, and I miss him so much, we will play Rush's story of the very first Thanksgiving as told by Rush Limbaugh. He lives on in conservatives' hearts, of course, but he lives on in a very real sense every single year, the day before Thanksgiving. Just like Rush did, we do indeed play the Rush Limbaugh story of the first Thanksgiving. I believe I've told this story of when I grew up listening to this. I was a Rush baby in every sense of the phrase, but I also introduced my now 16-year-old son. This was probably 2019, 2020. So he was 12, 13 years old, something like that. And we sat transfixed in a Stein's parking lot. We were going actually to get our Christmas tree. Because he's allergic to a whole lot of pine needles, we needed to go from a real tree, which we did every year, to a fake tree. We went to Stein's, got our fake tree, and before we did, we sat for about 10, 15 minutes just listening to Rush in the parking lot. And I believe I told that story when Rush passed away and when he was first diagnosed with cancer. I told this story about the power of Rush and what he means. So next week, Thanksgiving, we will be telling that story. Fall Fortune Contest word is Bills. B-I-L-L-S, Bills. You've got until 55 past this hour to go to our website and enter the keyword Bills. If your entry is picked at random, you will win $1,000 in cash instantly to help pay your bills. Speaking of bills, speaking of Thanksgiving, cost of Thanksgiving dinner is up exponentially this year as it was last year, as it was in 2021. You would think that there would be a pretty obvious explanation in the mainstream media, rather obviously. President Biden's fiscal policies, inflationary government policy leading to the higher cost of everything, right? Wrong. According to our media, it's climate change. That story coming up. But first, It was a glorious weekend for members of the local media.
Live from Chicago, welcome to the 65th Annual Chicago Midwest Emmy Awards.
It was a night of glitz. It was a night of glamour. It was a night of awards. It was a night of self-congratulation. I dare say the only people who enjoy giving themselves awards more than actors and country music singers. What is it about country music? They have like 5 different award shows where every other genre of music has won. There's the Grammys, there's the Billboard Music Awards. For the country music people, it's like the CMAs, the Academy of Country Music Awards, Country Thunder Awards. I don't know. There just seems like there's way more. And for the actors, there's, the Emmys, the Oscars, there's the Golden Globes, there's the Critics' Choice Awards. But journalists, too, love giving themselves awards. Now, I can't really say I'm immune to this. I was the proud winner twice of the National Edward R. Murrow Award. And I'm actually very, very proud of that because it's sort of like the Oscar for broadcast journalism. I won it for investigative reporting. I won it for sports reporting. Then I became an open conservative on the radio. And as my brother said, yeah, you're never going to win another award again. But this week, local news outlets, Milwaukee, Madison, all over Wisconsin, Chicago, they gathered for the Chicago Regional Emmys. Now, there's the national Emmys, and there are local Emmys. There are basically various regions. They do this for the Murrow Awards as well, but the Murrows are a little different. You go on to win national awards if you win your region. And in the Emmys, you are called an Emmy winner if you win a regional Emmy. So pretty much every local TV reporter was here to get their Emmys. It was a pretty standard issue affair. It was actually very, very well produced. It reminded me of the National Emmy or Oscar ceremony. It's streamed live on YouTube, and it was hosted by the comedian Godfrey. You remember Godfrey? Vaguely? Not Gilbert Gottfried, who passed away. Godfrey. I bet he was probably best known for Zoolander. He was, he was on Soul Plane. I kind of follow stand-up comedy, so I remember him from he was all over VH1. He was on the Best Week Ever shows, and he would do that. He had a couple of BET comedy specials. The guy's been around comedy forever. He's probably about mid-50s, I would say, and he was the host. About 40 minutes into the Emmys, and it was a long show, 3 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. Of course, he started the Trump bashing. No real surprise, right? A comedian is going to, take shots at the president. It's the most common type of. It's weird. It is very weird that no comedians, late night or otherwise, take shots at Joe Biden, who is almost literally Mr. Magoo wandering around aimlessly. He did so again, by the way, at the Veterans Day ceremony. He had to be guided to where he's supposed to stand after he speaks by a soldier who was guarding the Tomb of the Unknowns. Incredible embarrassment, but nobody pays attention to that. Instead, we focus our jokes only on the former president. Godfrey did. But he said something that I thought, with the audience response, was worth noting.
Who's voting for Trump? No one's voting for Trump? Oh, man! If Trump were here.
Anybody really surprised by that? You've got a room full of thousands of journalists. By definition, as voted by their peers, the very best in the Chicago region. Milwaukee, Madison, Chicago, I believe Minneapolis might be in there, I'm not exactly sure. But the entire upper Midwest region. By definition, these are the best of the best. The creme de la creme, the Emmy nominees, not one of them voted for Trump. I can tell you a number of them actually did, because I was sent this video clip by no fewer than about 4 people who were either there or watching the ceremony and kind of disgusted by this. More disgusted by what Godfrey said next.
This is a very good show. I'm very happy to be here.
See, like this stuff.
These are not real trophies. They're very fake.
He does a fantastic Trump impression. Game recognized game. Yeah, that's a Trump impression. That is Godfrey doing Trump. I was like, whoa, man, you got Trump nailed, dude. I wish. Do you have any idea how much better my show would be if I could do a Trump as good as Godfrey could?
Sweet Trump, give it up, boy.
Yeah.
What? Don't even try me.
I'm not. Godfrey, that was, you're the man. That was
I
great.
should win all the awards.
All right. So, standard stuff, right? Totally benign. But then he goes in on Melania Trump.
His wife was a model, please. She was a stripper.
What?
And a Russian. Нет, sorry.
She was a stripper in Russia. Seems a little beyond the pale. No? Yet? I'm just wondering what the outrage might be if you pointed out that Dr. Jill Biden, now you have to always call her doctor. Don't look to her if someone is having a heart attack on a plane, but she is a doctor. If Godfrey would have said, Biden's wife, she's a doctor, please. She's the babysitter trollop who seduced the guy she was working for. That's true. There's no evidence Melania ever worked as a stripper. Doesn't matter. And of course, nobody will be outraged by this. But to me, the far more fascinating thing was, is anyone voting for Trump? Is anyone voting for Trump? No. Everybody kind of laughed, right? This is a perfect representation of the groupthink that pervades not just national media, where it is disgustingly out there, but also local media from people who aren't even covering national politics. We've almost gotten to a point where we expect this from the NBC Newses and the CNNs of the world. Every single person they have covering Trump, they have covering politics, they have covering anything. Hell, you could have a health reporter and they're still finding a way. You could have the person who covers baking for the Washington Post. You could have the bakery critic, and they would find a way to get in some way to bash Trump and bash Republicans and bash conservatives in their reporting. But at the local level, you must always realize that that sort of groupthink, that sort of overwhelming liberal slant exists. In fact, studies have confirmed pretty much for the last 50 years that only about 5 to 10% of all working journalists are conservative. And do you know what that number includes? People like me, Jay Weber, Mark Belling. All of us got our start in fact journalism. Yeah, Dan O'Donnell doesn't report facts anymore. No, you idiots. I'm an opinion journalist. You know, like the left-wing columns you read, like the Morning Joe Scarborough shows that you watch. We do that from the right. I still do investigative work. In fact, I dare say nobody else in the media will be reporting on what went on the media's big party over the weekend. But I am paid for my opinions. I am paid to sort of sway people to my line of thinking, to influence policy. That's my job. In 2014, big study was done that showed 92% of journalists are Democrats. 92%. From 1962 to 1996, the quote-unquote Washington Press Corps, according to study after study after study, was overwhelmingly liberal. 1982 project by State University of California at Los Angeles. A poll of 1,000 journalists from 50 daily newspapers all across the country found 25% voted for President Ronald Reagan. Reagan won 49 out of 50 states. There was actually a very famous, well, actually, this was the 1980 election. He didn't win quite that many, but it was a landslide victory. Reagan won a huge majority, won the overwhelming majority of states. In fact, I believe Reagan's victory in 1980 was the third or fourth biggest landslide in American presidential history, trailing only Nixon in 1972. Biggest landslide victory was Reagan in 1984. He won 49 out of 50 states. And there was a very famous anecdote about a journalist whose name I don't remember, who said, "I can't believe Reagan won. I don't know a single person who voted for him," which goes to show how pervasive this groupthink is and has always been. Another assessment from 1995 found that in the 1992 presidential elections, so just 10 years later, 89% of reporters voted for Bill Clinton. 89%. Just 11%. 2014, that number shrunk to just 8%. Voting for George W. Bush, or I guess in 2014 it would have been Mitt Romney, 2012. That number, I dare say, has shrunk even more. In fact, I would guess, my best guess for the number of journalists who are Republican, and remember, this includes conservative talk show hosts, conservative opinion writers, the entire staff of National Review when they're not too busy Trump bashing, all of that. No more than 4 to 5%, no more. In addition to that, when you take it a step further, okay, so they vote for Democrats. No real surprise here. What about their donations? The people who are so involved, so attuned to what's going on, and so passionate about politics that they actually donate. In the 2016 election cycle, the Center for Public Integrity compared donations from journalists to Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Guess what they found? 96% of journalist donations went to Hillary Clinton. 96%. The Media Research Center found that between 2008 and 2016, 94% of all donations went to Democrats. Folks, liberal media bias has always existed. But now, the media is engaged in something different altogether. They always had an advocacy bent to their reporting. It was never straight news reporting. From the days of the yellow journalism of William Randolph Hearst, when in every town practically there was a Republican newspaper and a Democrat newspaper, you always had political bias come through in reporting. What we have seen in what I consider to be the era of Trump from 2015 to the present, something new and something far more insidious. And we will explain exactly what that is coming up next here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass with another 5-star review, this one from Dave. I scraped the passenger side of my new truck. You can imagine how I felt when I saw the long scratch staring back at me. I called Mander and they were able to get me in right away. On the spot, they were able to buff out most of it and they cleaned it up where it didn't need any paint work. Their honesty and integrity were on full display because they could have easily told me it needed comprehensive work. When I asked them what I owed for the service, they said nothing. At a time when good service seems to be a thing of the past, it's nice to know there are still companies and people that provide extraordinary service with complete integrity. I highly recommend Mander. Dave, that's exactly why I highly recommend Mander too. With 5 locations to serve you in Waukesha, Brookfield, Heartland, Cedarburg, and a brand new facility in Muskego, Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
Uline is here for the hard workers, for the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to the threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code CLAY. LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
More than 38,000 U.S. veterans are experiencing homelessness across our nation. Through its Homeless Veteran Program, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is providing housing assistance and services to U.S. veterans in need. Over 500 veterans helped last year, more than 2,000 to receive help this year. If you or someone you know is a veteran who is homeless or at risk of homelessness, complete the inquiry form at t2t.org. Or donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
Wisconsin, you deserve better. You deserve stress-free quality roofing. Let Klaus Roofing Systems by Buck Buckley, BBB award-winning service, take care of you and your family. For a free roofing consultation, visit KlausRoofingByBuck.com. And remember, put a Klaus on your house.
Want to sell your house fast for cash? Don't waste time listing your home. With Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer, get a fair cash offer. Choose your own closing date. No commissions or repair costs. We buy houses for cash, any condition, anywhere in Milwaukee. Go to MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com.
Conservative thought, not just talk. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
For those of you watching on the Dano Cam, no, I'm not doing a no-shave November thing. I'm doing a no-shave for the past 3 or 4 days because I'm lazy thing. And as I'm watching the feed from the Dano Cam, yes, I am very, very gray in my beard. I don't color my hair up top, although I think within the next 5 or 6 years I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'm thinking just for men, if you want to be the official hair color of the Dan O'Donnell Show, hit me up. Over the weekend, the Emmy Awards, the Chicago area Emmy Awards, featured the comedy stylings of Godfrey, who was big probably early 2000s, maybe the 10s. The fact that he's a national comedian who's now hosting the regional Emmy Awards should kind of tell you something. But he about 45 minutes into this weekend's ceremony, asked the journalists who were assembled there who voted for Trump, and of course, none of them admitted that they did.
Who's voting for Trump? No one's voting for Trump? Oh, man! If Trump were here.
And here's the thing. He's a funny guy. See, his impression of Trump is spectacular.
This is a very good show. I'm very happy to be here. These are not real trophies. They're very fake.
He also went on to tell a joke about Melania being a stripper in Russia, which is, of course, totally beyond the pale, but does anyone really care? At the White House Correspondents' Dinner a couple of years ago, you had Michelle Wolf, alleged comedian, the hostess, the MC of the event, call Ivanka, Trump's daughter, the C word. And nobody seemed to think that this was super offensive. But what got me was, of course, the obvious groupthink and overwhelming liberal bias that you get at every single level of media. If someone doesn't tell you overtly they're a conservative, just assume that the news you're getting from them is going to have a liberal slant. Well, Dan, don't you do a conservative slant? Yes, it's in my tagline. I probably say conservative thought, not just talk, 3 times an hour. Pay attention, dummy. What's far more dangerous than just the liberal slant, though, is in particular how journalists view Trump. Think about why people get into journalism. Do they get in it for the money? You can make a great living. You can make $20 million a year in journalism. You can be paid like an NBA star. But just like chasing a career in the NBA, those jobs are few and far between. Even where I am is relatively rare. By definition, there's only a tiny handful of talk show hosts in the state of Wisconsin, in the entire country. Far more journalists don't make a lot of money. They work long hours. They work odd hours. TV journalists in particular, they have to do a 10 o'clock news show. They usually get into work at 3 p.m. They clock out at 11 p.m. It is a very difficult lifestyle, especially if you have a family. So why do they get into it? These are people who typically want to change the world, right? They want to leave their mark on the world. Now, I've always said there are two types of people in media. Those who want to be someone and those who want to do something. Those who want to be someone just love looking at their faces on the camera. They would not go 3 days without shaving before having to live stream a radio show. As much as I may sound like I'm super vain, I didn't even bother to shave for the past 3 or 4 days. Did I shower at least this morning? I showered last night. I played soccer with some of my buddies, so I showered last night. I typically don't shower in the morning because I go work out right after the show, so I'll shower, get whatever. And the only person I'm interacting with is Dave, and I don't really care if he smells me. That's how great a relationship we have. He has seen me at my worst, and he has smelled me at my worst. The point, though, is that the people who go into journalism wanting to do something invariably want to change the world with their reporting. They see themselves as speaking truth to power. That's a common mantra, right? They are the voice of the little guy, speaking up against the big corporations, against those who would harm the people. What happens if they truly believe the greatest existential threat to society, to the people who they believe they're standing up for with their reporting, is not just Trump, but you? Their fellow citizens who they believe are insurrectionists, who they believe are fundamentally evil people, who want to take away a woman's right to choose, who are fascists, who are Nazis, who want to bring back the Jim Crow era. This is the biggest fundamental problem, and this is the biggest existential crisis with journalism, and probably a big reason why so many people simply don't trust the profession. They simply don't trust the news that's coming out from people who make it abundantly clear that they despise their audience, at least the audience that doesn't agree with them politically. In a bygone era, journalists could be Democrats and obviously always slant the news. If you thought Walter Cronkite was a straight shooter and gave it to you right down the middle, I hate to say it, but you were a tad naive. Walter Cronkite, however, would not be marching for Palestine, screaming from the river to the sea, and essentially calling for the destruction of Israel. Journalists today, especially those under 40, especially those in my generation, the millennials and the Generation Z reporters just coming out of college now, of course, they have a tendency to view the world in the same sort of apocalyptic terms that the leftist agitators and protesters do. They're one and the same. The biggest problem with journalism is not that journalists don't vote for Trump. If you didn't realize that, you haven't been paying attention for the past 8 years. The issue is that journalists have turned Trump, and more significantly his supporters, all Republicans, into enemies of the country. Now, the ironic thing, and it's incredibly ironic, is that Trump said something at a rally on Veterans Day Friday that the media is absolutely freaking out with. You know the old biblical saying, you point out the splint, or you point out the sliver in someone else's eye while ignoring the plank in your own? It's apropos here, because they're using a throwaway line from Trump to paint him as Hitler and Mussolini, while ignoring the marauding bands of anti-Semites marching in the streets all weekend long. Stay tuned. The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back.
I just got this text message the other day. Luis just completed a job for Jim. I won't say his last name. The customer called me back to say Luis did an amazing job. He worked very fast and was very concerned about the job he did. He said he ran a company, and that's the kind of employee that's really hard to find. Exemplary customer service. First of all, hats off to Luis. Secondly, I want you to know, here at Lisbon Storm Screen and Door, we take window and door installations here seriously. We try to hire people just like Luis that care about the job they do and care about how you feel about it. And like Jim said, they're not always easy to find, but when you get one on your job, they sure do stick out, don't they? This is David Wilhelm for Craftsman Caliber Window and Door Installation and just about anything you need for windows and
choice for more. Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Find out more at lisbonstorm.com.
Have you been in a car accident lately but are unsure of where to take your car for repairs? One Collision County Line is family owned, has provided exceptional collision repair for over 30 years, and works with all insurance companies. Your vehicle is a major investment, and you need someone you can trust to make the process easy. One Collision County Line serves the Milwaukee area with easy access from Highway 4145, and their high-quality repairs are warranted for as long as you own your vehicle. Check out the online reviews to read what their customers have to say about them, including the positive feedback on their friendliness, professionalism, and impeccable work. For your safety and convenience, they offer online photo submission and estimates from the comfort of your home, as well as free pickup and delivery of your vehicle. One Collision County Line is also offering 12 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply. Visit them online at the1collisioncountyline.com or give them a call at 262-251-1700.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
No showings, no closing costs, no staging, no real estate agent fees, no added stress.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services, and I'm so proud to be a father, a husband, an entrepreneur, a Christian, and an American. My wife Amy and I did our best to educate our children about our reasons for embracing traditional values. This summer, Amy and I became empty nesters, and now our young adults are in the real world with the American dream in their heads, their hearts, and soon it will be in their hands to share with others. God is good. Marriage and children are a blessing. Capitalism works, and America is grand. She is rich with beautiful places to explore. She's a melting pot of beautiful people. Diverse? Yes. But we are still blessed to have so much in common. Ignore the politicians and the media who sow seeds of hate. Let's embrace the wonders of life, liberty, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness in America. Join me in discovering the wonders of nature and the wonders of America.
This is Brad Yumberg with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. There's a lot of fluff around window sales, but what really matters is the type of people you choose to have working for you. That's why I want to highlight Semper Fi's own CJ Callies. He's been selling, measuring, installing, and managing window installations for 35 plus years. He has a depth of knowledge that allows him to see problems before they happen, and I swear, I think the guy can see behind walls. He's easy to work with, and I can't think of a customer who hasn't liked working with him. And he really is the kind of guy you're going to want on your job. CJ's in charge of our entire window and door division, and you can be assured he's going to have his hands on your project. Most companies focus on the product. At Semper Fi, we focus on our people and you, and that's never let us down. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, call Semper Fi, because you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to the threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code CLAY. LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
You want a killer Black Friday deal? Get a free Moto 5G phone when you sign up for Pure Talk's unlimited talk, unlimited text, and 15 gig data plan for just $35 a month. Just dial pound 250 and say keyword SAVE NOW to get this exclusive offer and to select the plan that's right for your family. Pure Talk gives you America's most dependable 5G network at half the price. Dial pound 250 and say keyword SAVE NOW to claim your free Moto 5G phone with qualifying plan.
Profound insight, piercing analysis. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
City in the bumper music rotation here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Their song Deer in the Headlights, apropos the gun deer season here in Wisconsin, very nearly upon us. Producer Dave, when gun deer season starts, can we start playing Christmas music? Or does it have to be after Thanksgiving? See, I'm going to be off the first 2 days after Thanksgiving, that Monday and Tuesday. I'm, taking a couple of days, an extended Thanksgiving holiday. So we're not going to start Christmas music. Well, we're going to start Christmas music with a fill-in host. I can't have that. I know you're going to do it just to tick me off. And we've got a few new songs we're putting in the Christmas bumper music rotation. One thing we will not do, you will not see on the Dano Cam on our live stream of the show, red and green lights. Christmas is apparently a time of mourning, a time of extreme political correctness, at least according to the Wauwatosa City Administrator. We're going to have some fun with that story coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. The latest Trump-related media freakout has to do with this line from a speech he made over the weekend in New Hampshire.
In honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, that lie and steal and cheat on elections.
What word do you think the left is freaking out about? One word out of that. Communists? Nope. Vermin. Why? Because Hitler and Mussolini referred to their political enemies as vermin. You see, Trump is just like Hitler. Meanwhile, over the weekend, tens of thousands of people at a crack gathered in cities all across America, like Austin, Texas, and all across the world, like London, England, in support of Palestinians. They, of course, did their famous chant, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Totes not a call for the eradication of the world's only Jewish state. I have yet to see a freakout in the media of people at these rallies overtly calling for violence against Jewish people, like Hitler did.
Palestinians have a right to rebel. What that means is they have a right to fight to free their land from the river to the sea by any means necessary. And I do mean any means necessary.
Long live Palestine. Thank you all for being here, for raising your voices to celebrate the glorious victory of the resistance.
And the several other joyful and powerful images which came from the glorious October 7th.
Yes!
I want you to picture those in your mind. I want you all to remember how you felt when you saw those images and heard the news. I remember feeling so empowered and happy.
Now, you might be saying, and there is some validity to this, Dan, these are just random idiots on the street who happen to get access to a bullhorn. This isn't like a former president. This isn't like the president of the United States demonizing his fellow citizens, the people he purports to govern, as vermin, as using the exact same language as Hitler and Mussolini. We Democrats would never have our elected leaders essentially pit one group of Americans against each other and say that our political enemies are enemies of the state, that they are, in fact, threats to not only America, but democracy itself. Au contraire, mon frere. Let me take you back to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The steps of Independence Hall, September 1st, 2022. Joe Biden making his closing pitch to Americans ahead of the midterm elections, saying, MAGA, people like you listening to this radio show are the real threat to this country, and we need to band together to fight them.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They promote authoritarian leaders, and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy.
Honest to goodness, you replace the word MAGA Republicans with the word Jews, and that really does sound like something that could have come out of Hitler's mouth. I apologize for violating Godwin's law there, but give me a break, folks. That, of course, was the infamous Dark Brandon speech in which President Biden, and this has been sort of a hallmark of his presidency, at least the presidency that he's fronting, the one that's really run by radical leftists and, yes, vermin who really do hate you and really have spent the entirety of their 3 years in power trying to lock people like you up for the sole reason that you dared to gather in solidarity in opposition to them. And oh, by the way, even saying that an election is stolen is a threat to the republic, except, of course, when they do it. We name the unhinged liberal of the day. Check in with Dave Spano on the state of markets coming up next on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Classical conservatism.
Contemporary style.
This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Scarlet, burnt orange, and gold. When you think of the colors of autumn, don't forget green. Play the nationwide Fall Fortune Cash Contest on News Talk 1130 WISN, and your pockets could be bursting with green 9 times every weekday. Text in the contest keyword and take your shot at the hourly prize of $1,000.
The Fall Fortune Cash Contest is presented by Powers Jewelry Designers, Milwaukee's go-to destination for jewelry with nearly 50 years of unmatched craftsmanship and style. Call 414-DIAMOND or visit milwaukee-jewelry.com.
It was a doozy, all right. Apparently, things got a little out of hand, as evidenced by the job description.
Repair heel marks on conference table.
You get the picture. Office party, a few too many drinks, and a gal who felt compelled to use the top of the conference table as a dance floor. And as you expected, we showed up on site and made that tabletop as good as new. By golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MalaliFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Malali. Malali Furniture Finishing and Repair, serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY Finishing.com.
Jada doesn't believe in dreaming. Jada believes in doing, which is why she does all her banking with Landmark Credit Union. Checking account? Check. Savings? Certainly. Car loan? Mortgage? Most definitely. Landmark makes it easy for Jada to do all she does digitally with the Landmark app. Anytime, anywhere. Done and done. Just how Jada likes it. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
It's that time of year again, Wisconsin. Hunting season is back. Before you head out, remember that safety is always the #1 target for a successful hunt. So when you're out in the woods this season, practice these simple tips. Treat every firearm like it's loaded. Always point your muzzle in a safe direction. Be certain of your target and don't touch the trigger until you're ready to shoot. For more safety tips, visit dnr.wisconsin.gov. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
You work hard and play by the rules, but that's not what your monopoly utility wants to do. Utilities are spending millions lobbying lawmakers for a special deal that will increase rates even more, putting corporate profits over consumers. Hard-working Wisconsin taxpayers deserve better. Call your state legislator today. Tell them to vote no on Assembly Bill 470 and Senate Bill 481, paid for by the Electricity Transmission Competition Coalition.
I'm Benefit Company's Kurt Otto. INET is a knowledgeable, enthusiastic, innovative, creative, focused, true genius, an expert at branding business visually and telling your story, making potential new business make contact.
Your marketing guru or web developer can't do what INET does, maximizing your business profitability. Just like you can't keep up with regulations and see all opportunity to maximize business efficiencies, like your in-source benefit companies will. ConnectandSimplify.com.
CreativeGeniusMarketing.com. INET-web.com.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to the threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code CLAY. LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
Want to give as much money as possible to the government when you die? Didn't think so. Attorney Rob Mielek has helped thousands of clients maximize their financial legacy. Hear more on Your Hometown Lawyer, Saturday at 3 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Remember, fail to plan, plan to fail. MielekLaw@wi.com.
All year long, Klaus Roofing Systems by Buck Buckley offers free replacement roof repair and gutters. 100% satisfaction is the Klaus Roofing way. For a free estimate, visit KlausRoofingByBuck.com and put a Klaus on your house.
Need help choosing a fireplace? Call the experts at American Heritage Fireplace, offering in-stock products, vast showrooms, and helpful staff for homeowners and contractors alike. Visit us at AmericanHeritageFireplace.com for locations and hours.
When it comes to windows and doors, your clear choice for more is Lisbon Storm Screen and Door. Just north of North Avenue at 50th and Lisbon, or at LisbonStorm.com.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show, and it is time now to name our unhinged liberal of the day.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
America is in over.
Your unhinged liberal of the day for today, November 13th, 2023, is none other than Greta Thunberg, the Swedish teenager who I think has been in the news so long that she's probably 35 by now. She's like those kids from Stranger Things. She started out as a fresh-faced teen and now she's approaching middle age. She's at a climate conference over the weekend and starts going on a pro-Hamas, anti-Israel rant. So bad that someone actually grabs the microphone from her and says, "I don't want to hear this at my climate rally."
They have not been listening. The people in power have not been listening.
I have come here for a climate demonstration, not a political hearing.
He then takes the mic.
Calm down.
She manages to wrestle it back from him.
Calm down. Calm down.
There's one guy barking you could kind of hear there. Yeah. Totally normal, sane people.
No climate justice on occupied land. No climate justice on occupied land.
Greta joins the chat. No climate justice on occupied land. What does that even mean? There should be no climate justice for the Palestinians. There can be no climate justice. No one's quite sure, but it doesn't have to make any sense. It's a left-wing chant. Greta Thunberg infusing Hamas propaganda with her climate propaganda. Your unhinged liberal of the day. We bring in Dave Spano, president and CEO of Annex. Dave, it's looking pretty good on the markets right now, but what do you make of Moody's? Did we have an official downgrade of U.S. credit, or the credit outlook, I should say?
Well, it's I'm calling remotely, so thanks for having me on. And, maybe Greta meant that, there can be climate change in everywhere just where she wants it, though. So I find it interesting. But, yeah, you look at what's the news is happening, and the Powell pause, where the interest rates may not go further, certainly are going to be part of this conversation this week, including the Moody's conversation. If they begin to get downgraded, sometimes they do the work for the Fed, right? So the interest rates going up may be paused by the Federal Reserve, but if the interest rates keep going up by the market, they do the work. Same thing with Moody's. If Moody's downgrades, it puts more pressure on what's going to happen this week, because that's really the question. Is there a government shutdown at the end of the week? That's the concern. And if that happens, Dan, that is really going to rile the markets, because, as you know, the treasuries are the supposedly the most secure security in the world, and so that'll really be the question. And you look forward this week, Dan. You've got a CPI report coming out. You're going to hear a lot about retail sales. Most notably, Walmart will come out this week, and of course, the government shutdown. All will roil the markets this week.
He is Dave Spano, the president and CEO of Annex Wealth Management. We will talk about this more in depth when we tape our latest episode of The Difference, the intersection of politics and economics, a podcast that you can get on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll have that new episode up probably within the next couple of hours. We tape right after this radio show ends. Coming up next hour, speaking of climate change, not reckless fiscal policy is the reason that Thanksgiving dinner is going to cost more this year, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, except in Wauwatosa City Hall, where decorating with red and green is politically incorrect. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss the second hour of The Dan O'Donnell Show.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Tad Allen. A 76-year-old woman is listed in critical condition following a fire last night on Milwaukee's Lower East Side. That blaze broke out at the Cambridge Apartments Senior Living Community. The Milwaukee Fire Department said they received calls about the fire on the 10th floor of the high-rise apartment building, leaving several people trapped. Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says weather conditions made it harder for crews to put out the fire. In addition to the critically injured woman, several other people were evaluated by first responders at the scene. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. The Wisconsin State Senate has tweaked a bill to fund improvements and repairs for the Milwaukee Brewers ballpark. If the amended American Family Field funding plan gets the necessary 17 votes in the Senate, it'll go back to the Assembly, where Majority Leader Tyler August is confident it'll win approval.
Assuming that the Senate would pass that over to us, I see no reason why we wouldn't have the votes to be able to concur on that amendment almost immediately and put this issue to bed once and for all.
The altered plan calls for $375 million from the state, $67.5 million each from Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee, and $150 million from the Brewers. That's an increase of $50 million from the original package. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott announced last night he's dropping out of the 2024 Republican presidential campaign. A number of Scott's staffers said they got no warning about him ending his campaign, finding out about it by watching him say it on TV. Checking the WISN Sports Scoreboard, the Bucks are back in action tonight, hosting the Chicago Bulls at the Fiserv Forum. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Ahlin, News Talk 1130, WISN.
The news is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that that I'm able to breathe in and out each night, and I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Sunshine and lots of it today. Should see a high near 60. Breezy northwest wind that'll gust up around 25 miles per hour at times. Clear and 37 overnight tonight. Clear again on Tuesday. Back up near 60. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Discover. If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Sick of all the homeowner headaches? Tired of being a landlord? Did you inherit a property? Go to MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com. We are a local family business, A+ with the BBB. It will make you a fair as-is cash offer within 24 hours. No fees, just cash. MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com.
Get ready, Wisconsin. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Wisconsin. Trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services and host of the Designer Yard Show. I want to share a landscaping secret with you. Winter is when our ornamental trees and shrubs need us most. We all know that plants need pruning, but why in the winter? Well, first, we can see their structure best when the leaves have fallen. And second, pruning is not so stressful when your plants are dormant. Pruning is affordable and makes a huge impact on the vitality and beauty of your trees and shrubs. So prune this winter and have gorgeous flowers next spring and summer. Pruning also helps keep your plants properly sized. No more dancing around them on the sidewalk or wrestling through them to wash your windows. Call today and schedule a complimentary evaluation of your ornamental plants. Our plant care experts will make sure your trees, shrubs, and perennials perform and look their best. Discover the wonders of nature. Call Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services at 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 11/30/2023.
Most companies focus on the product. At Semper Fi, we focus on our people and you, and that's never let us down. That's why you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to the threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code CLAY. LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
Be sure to listen to the Annex Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Annex provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, news, talk, and sports radio. Podcasts too. Download the app. Free never sounded so good.
We are less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. It seems like we were just celebrating the 4th of July. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show, 414-799-1130. That's our AdventNows.com talk and text line. Reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. My email, dod@iheartmedia.com. At Dan O'Donnell Show on Twitter, X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, and streaming live on the YouTube Dano Cam. We're also on Twitter, X, and Facebook, or as Vicky McKenna calls it, Twix and Facebook. I kind of like that. I think I'm going to be adopting that one for Twitter/X. Although I did pledge when Elon changed the name to X that I was never going to call it X. I just think it's a stupid name, personally. We always run our Fall Fortune Cash Contest straight through to the Friday before Thanksgiving. That means this is indeed the final week where you can be listening each hour 9 to 5 and win $1,000 instantly. Fall Fortune Cash Contest this hour is cash, C-A-S-H, cash. You've got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword cash to enter the contest for this hour. Consumer Price Index shows that food at home prices are up 2.4% this year. Last year, the average cost of a Thanksgiving feast for 10 was $64.05, according to the Farm Bureau. 2023 estimates are not available as of yet. Over the past 2 years, the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that grocery prices are up about 17%. Why could that be? It wouldn't have anything to do with the Biden administration flooding the country with unnecessary stimulus money early on, causing an inflation avalanche, would it? No. According to FoxWeather.com, it's because of extreme weather events, possibly caused by climate change. That's the reason Thanksgiving is going to cost more this year. The Stu Leonard's supermarket chain in the Northeast in New England sells more than 20,000 turkeys, 55,000 pies, and 10,000 pounds of mashed potatoes every year. And Stu Leonard himself joined Fox Weather to explain how weather is critical to the price of food. Weather affects food all the time, he said. I mean, if the seas are rough, we see that lobster prices will go up and some of our fish prices will go up. Weather is critical to the price of food, and we've seen a couple of things happen this year. Leonard said the effect Hurricane Hillary had on California led to the increase of an artichoke and Brussels sprouts prices, and extreme weather in Georgia has led to an increase in the price of green beans. So the weather is affecting a little bit of your Thanksgiving meal pricing. We're fine with turkeys, he said, though. Turkeys are going to roughly be the same price as they were last year. You know, some people will be selling them a little lower, some a little higher. No word on the actual cost of the dramatic increase in prices. Bidenomics. After Thanksgiving, of course, comes what? We know it. We're ready for it, even if my producer is not. It's Christmas time. But in the city of Wauwatosa, don't you dare use the traditional Christmas colors of red and green while decorating at your cubicle or in public spaces. The story, exclusively reported first by our good friends at WisconsinRightNow.com. Wauwatosa's deputy city administrator is instructing city workers that they should avoid using red and green to celebrate Christmas. Instead, they should decorate counters with purple and blue, and instead of snowmen, we don't want to use gendered language, we use snow people. The email went out this week from Deputy City Administrator Melissa Cantarero Weiss. It also notes that City Administrator James Archambault is on board with the instructions. She's urging workers to embrace inclusive decorating practices and make Wauwatosa's municipal buildings a place that everyone can feel comfortable visiting throughout the holiday season. City workers are urged to opt for more neutral and inclusive decorations. We received the email, Wisconsin Right Now writes, from multiple sources who questioned why Wauwatosa was making this a priority when the city has far more pressing issues. Even the White House doesn't go that far. After all, there is a national Christmas tree. In addition, Wauwatosa's mayor has confirmed the legitimacy of the Weiss email in his own email to the city's Common Council. In the email to city employees, Weiss wrote that as the holiday season approaches, she and Archambault are asking people to reflect on our commitment to creating a welcoming and inclusive environment. She wrote that currently Christmas decorations are prevalent throughout public counters at City Hall and perhaps other buildings as well. You want me to read the email? It is hilarious. Now, as we read this, I want you to note, this past weekend was the Hindu celebration of Diwali, right? Senator Tammy Baldwin, Governor Tony Evers. I'm assuming if she has social media, this deputy city administrator wished everyone who celebrates a very happy Diwali. There was no concern about cultural sensitivity. Well, what about all of the people who don't celebrate Diwali? Did we say happy holiday season to all of you Hindus for your celebration and holiday that's happening this weekend? Of course not. Only Christmas gets this. Here is the email from Melissa Cantarero Weiss in all of its woke glory. City employees, as the holiday season approaches, Mr. Archambault and I ask that you take some time to reflect on our commitment to create a welcoming and inclusive environment for all residents and visitors to our buildings, as well as all our coworkers. At City Hall in particular, December is our busiest month of the year, with many residents visiting in person to pay property tax bills. We strive to ensure that every visitor to our buildings feels valued and respected regardless of their individual beliefs and traditions. Currently, Christmas decorations are prevalent throughout public counters at City Hall and perhaps other buildings as well. While we understand the significance of this holiday for many, it is important to recognize that not all Wauwatosa employees, residents, or business owners celebrate Christmas. In our ongoing efforts to foster a more equitable and inclusive community, we believe it is crucial to be considerate of how we decorate public spaces during the season. To that end, we kindly ask that departments refrain from using religious decorations or those solely associated with Christmas, such as red and green colors, when decorating public spaces within city buildings. Instead, we encourage you to opt for more neutral and inclusive decorations that celebrate the season without favoring any particular faith belief system. Here are a few suggestions. Winter Wonderland, snowflakes, snow people, and other non-religious symbols associated with winter. 2. Lights and greenery. Festive lighting and greenery can create a warm and welcoming atmosphere without specific religious connotations. 3. Northern Lights. Draw inspiration from the Aurora Borealis and incorporate colors like blue, green, and purple. Above all, our goal is to foster inclusivity and respect. Your creativity can play a significant role in helping us reach that goal. She meant us. By embracing inclusive decorating practices, we can reinforce our commitment to being a more equitable and welcoming place for all people who live in Wauwatosa, do business in our community, and our coworkers. Your cooperation in helping meet this goal is appreciated. Together, we can make Wauwatosa's municipal buildings a place that everyone can feel comfortable visiting throughout the holiday season. Thank you for your dedication to creating a more inclusive and equitable environment in the public spaces of our public buildings. Now, Mayor Dennis McBride took this on, confirming that it's real, but also warning people about the evil Republicans and right-wing media outlets who are making Wauwatosa's elimination of Christmas from Christmas decorating a thing. Wrote this to the Common Council yesterday, 10:44 a.m. You may have heard that certain media outlets, especially Wisconsin Right Now and the Daily Mail, a United Kingdom tabloid, are stoking controversy over an email that our Deputy City Administrator Melissa Weiss sent a few days ago, in which she urged city staff to avoid overtly religious message. Okay, is this guy having a stroke while he's writing this email? He spells Wisconsin Wissconsin, and then he spells messages Messaages, and then he spells holiday season Seeeason. Either he's having a stroke or he's got some sticky computer keys or something. And I don't want to know why the mayor of Wauwatosa has sticky computer keys. This morning, I received a score of emails, he continues, from people, most not from Wauwatosa, who have expressed outrage. Here's how I have responded. I wasn't able to respond to your message earlier because I was singing in my church choir this morning. See what he's doing, of course. It's not me. I'm religious. And I can't actually vouch for the fact that McBride, not going to say, he is active in his church. The policy you mentioned was not imposed by the Common Council or me. That being said, after the message was sent out by our Deputy City Administrator, I inquired and learned that in years past, some people who have come to City Hall in November and December have complained about religious displays. My understanding is that our administrators are trying to minimize the discomfort that some people feel when they come to a government building for governmental non-religious functions. Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God's." Our job as a city government is to provide municipal services. There is no Republican way to plow the snow, nor a Democratic way to pick up the garbage. Likewise, there is no Christian way to mow the grass and no Jewish or Muslim way to pave our roads. Wauwatosa residents are a diverse group. Some are Christian, some are Jewish or Muslim or Buddhist, and some practice no religion at all. My immediate family and I celebrate Christmas. Other members of my extended family, including my Jewish grandsons and biracial nephews, celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. I imagine that some Christians who come to City Hall might feel uncomfortable if they saw decorations celebrating Muslim holidays. No, we wouldn't, because if we did register that, we would be seen as Islamophobes and publicly shamed. At this time, a horrible war is being fought in the Middle East over religion. No, it's being fought over the fact that 1,400 innocent Jewish people were massacred in a terror attack. In this country, we have generally avoided religious conflict by welcoming people from all over the world and from every faith. Let us all work together for the cause of peace this holiday season. I will celebrate Christmas at home and at church, as I always do, joyfully. Others will decide how to celebrate the season as they wish, as our Constitution guarantees. I wish you all a joyful Christmas season. That's what he wrote. He concludes, I expect this controversy to blow over soon, and then those who have expressed outrage will be on to a new topic. As my father used to say at times like these, paraphrasing 2 Corinthians, this too shall pass. Best wishes, Mayor Dennis McBride. Let's open this up. What do you folks think about the non-Christmas Christmas decorations in Wauwatosa? 414-799-1130 or 1-800-838-9476. Your calls, your texts, next here on The Dan O'Donnell Show. Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. With summer in our rearview mirror, it's time for Truck Month at Lynch with Silverados, Sierras, Rams, and F-150s, heavy duties and diesels. Lynch has them all, and they have over 400 trucks on the ground right now. Nobody sells for less than Lynch, and nobody has you better protected than Lynch. With a standard 3-month, 3,000-mile certified warranty on pre-owned vehicles, they also cover your windshield, road hazards, and paint. They really know how to take care of you and your family, and that's why I tell all my friends about Lynch. Get ready for the fall and tailgate season. It's Truck Month, with over 400 trucks in stock at the Lynch family of dealerships. Shop now online at shoplynch.com. Once again, that's shoplynch.com.
Bob Dolan here for injury attorneys Pasternak and Zergabel, recognized as two of Wisconsin's best injury attorneys. Pasternak and Zergabel's extraordinary work and results are something I and other clients have known for years. Whether you're the victim of a car accident like I was, or the victim of a dangerous product like asbestos, you need to contact Pasternak and Zergabel. See their website at injurywisconsin.com, injurywisconsin.com, for award-winning personal injury attorneys Pasternak and Zergabel.
It's obvious the unthinkable is happening. With all the recent media distractions, most folks never saw it coming. But a few did. Their guts told them something very wrong was going on. And now the headlines are proving them right. The people in charge keep telling you that everything's fine and to stop noticing. But you know better. Folks are investing in emergency food storage, and you should too. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, are the ones you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells biomass stoves, off-grid room heaters for when the power goes out, gravity-powered water filters, heirloom seeds, and survival gear that may come in handy soon. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
If you have breathing triangle issues like compromised nasal breathing and sleep, snoring, or even sleep apnea issues, a call to Advent makes sense. Because breathing well will help you live better.
If you or a loved one needs a personal injury attorney, ask around. Lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, insurance adjusters refer Warshevsky because we achieve maximum judgments and settlements. Their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
It's the most wonderful
time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer.
No, you can't say that in Wauwatosa.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Okay, that's fine. No specific reasons, just a wonderful time. Okay.
Happiest season of all.
Yeah, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa too. It's another season.
Holiday greetings and
Holiday greetings. Ooh, gay and trans happy meetings. Okay.
Happy season of all. There'll be
Keep it. Oh, it's fading out. It's fading out. I was going to say, keep the jam going, Dave. We are back here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Wauwatosa's city administrators say, don't you dare decorate with green and red this holiday season. Only sad colors, only depressing colors. Blue, purple. It's sort of like the city of Milwaukee's Wisconsin Avenue street signs. Every single year I drive down there for a play or something. It's just, and you know why they did it. It's all blue and white, and it's lights, yes. Christmas, not really. And you know it was meant to be inclusive. We can't have anything that specifically relates to Christmas itself. Yet you have every single lib politician over the weekend wishing everyone who celebrates a happy Diwali. You can't do that with Christmas too. You can't just say, hey, I wish everyone who celebrates a Merry Christmas, and acknowledge that like 85% of the country celebrates Christmas. Even those who don't celebrate the religious aspect of it, celebrate the secular aspect of it. I grew up next to an Indian family, practicing Hindus, wonderful, wonderful people. They celebrated Christmas and Easter, not the religious parts of it. Now, they did send their kids to a Catholic school because they thought it was a wonderful school. But they celebrated because Christmas is just as much an American holiday where we do have those who are faithful, do mark the birth of Jesus Christ, but there are almost as many who celebrate, the Santa Claus and reindeer and gift giving and family and getting together. It's just it's the most wonderful time of the year, sang Andy Williams. But there are those who are so concerned about the idea that having a red and green light display at City Hall would promote the establishment of a religion in violation of the First Amendment's Establishment Clause, that these geniuses have no idea that a personal display at your cubicle, something that might be visible to other people, something that you might put up in a public area to mark your faith, is the free exercise of your religion. And in fact, if you're a City of Wauwatosa employee and you have, say, a cubicle or an office, maybe there's a window that's in public view that people can see when they walk into City Hall. And this little woke tyrant, who, by the way, I can confirm she has deleted both her LinkedIn profile and her Twitter account, because obviously she is very, very strong in her convictions about this and not at all a tin pot bully who can't take it when her decisions come under fire, come under any sort of criticism. She, of course, reframes this as, it's hate. Oh. No, people are saying, you are ridiculous, and we are right to laugh at you. Okay? But if you're in an area and you want to put up Christmas lights because you celebrate Christmas, right? In fact, the Tin Pot Dictator and Mayor McCheese cannot tell you otherwise, because that would be infringing on your First Amendment free exercise right. All of these people get so honked off and they're so terrified. By the way, do you know the separation of church and state? Does that appear anywhere in the Constitution? No. It's a concept from Thomas Jefferson, I believe, in one of his letters. Don't quote me on that. But this wall of separation between church and state has never actually existed. Courts sort of adopted this, but we still do have a free exercise clause. Moreover, I defy any Dem politician who believes this nonsense that we can't acknowledge that the holiday is Christmas. And then they have the audacity of, oh, conservatives, the culture warriors, they're making up the war on Christmas again. The war is over. We lost, okay? The people who want Christmas to be in the Christmas season, we lost. We are like World War II France. You people rolled in on your politically correct tanks and leveled us in the better part of 2 weeks, okay? It's the holiday season. I myself have already begun shopping for my Kwanzaa gifts. My theme this year is power. It's Christmas. Everybody knows it's Christmas. Your attempts to not make it Christmas will endlessly be hilarious to me and apparently many of my listeners. Betty, who lives in Wauwatosa. Betty, how are you celebrating Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and Diwali and, let's see, the winter solstice and every other holiday besides Christmas this year?
I'm celebrating by allowing people to celebrate how they wish.
No!
Whatever
No!
they wish.
Betty, no. You live in Wauwatosa, and by God, you will force your atheistic beliefs down everyone else's throats. As I understand it, that's the Wauwatosa way. I'm kidding, of course. Welcome to the program, Betty. What's going on?
What I'm having a hard time understanding is if the city officials wish to be welcoming and inviting of all religious faiths, why does every street sign on every single corner on every block in the city of Wauwatosa have a cross on it, a Christian cross on it? How do they reconcile that?
Wait, what?
Yes, if you drive through Wauwatosa and look at the street signs, there's a crest on every street sign.
Not just like, hey, this is the crosswalk. It's not an X. It's a. It's no, honest to God. Are these like in? I guess I'm trying to. My kids go into Wauwatosa for violin lessons. I probably shouldn't admit that because if I dare have red and green in my car, I might get pulled over and have my car impounded. But I guess I never noticed that. Where are these on the street signs?
Oh, just look at, you go down Wisconsin Avenue, you go down any street in Wauwatosa, North Avenue, you will see, it'll say West North Avenue. And in the left-hand corner, you will see the crest with Wauwatosa on it. And there are four pictures on it. And the bottom right corner, you will see a cross on there. So this is what I don't understand. So if they're saying they want to be welcoming and inviting,
that's a great point.
The cross on a street sign screams we're welcoming to Christians, but no one else. So how do they reconcile that?
The only thing I can think of, Betty, and this is a great observation. It's a great observation. The only thing I can think of is that the city administrator hasn't seen these, because I imagine if she does, she will recoil like Nosferatu in the sunlight. Ah! The Christian cross, it burns! Stacy in Waukesha, you're on the Dan O'Donnell Show. What's going on, Stacy? Hello, Stacy.
Should take it to the next level. I think that what they should do is get rid of all their small rectangular pieces of paper in their pocket and donate it to me, because In God We Trust is very exclusive to atheists, and that's very offensive. So I want their money.
I love it, Stacy. Yes, yes. Why would you carry around this hate paper in your pocket? We want to be inclusive. I will, and you know what, Stacy? You and I can take up it's really it's a mission of mercy here. It's to make sure. So in fact, our friends at Wisconsin Right Now actually have the salaries. Melissa Cantorero Weiss earned $139,542 last year. I will take 70-some thousand of them, and Stacy will take 70-some thousand of those dollars, and we will, out of the goodness of our hearts, Melissa, give you dollars that have more inclusive language on them. Might be from the game Monopoly, but at least you won't be offended. Ed in Shorewood up next on the Dan O'Donnell Show. What's going on, Ed?
Good day, Dan O'Donnell. How you doing today?
Fantastic, my friend.
Hey, I want to shout out to all the listeners and just kind of say, here's our chance. As Christians, I'm a Catholic. Not much of a Catholic, though, I got to be honest. To stand up for ourselves. When other minorities or other ethnicities have an issue, they all get together. Here's our chance to go to TOSA, walk into businesses that buy into this, say, hey, I would have spent $200 here. Here's the cash to prove it. But because you buy into this, I won't be shopping here. And then call City Hall and tell them what you did.
I've actually got a better. I've got a better idea, Ed. I like this idea. And Ed, this is, you're not messing around at all. Like, you're serious. And I think this is actually what conservatives can do. Here's what I would do. We gather together. We gather together on the streets of Wauwatosa. We flood the streets. We wave red and green Christmas flags. We start chanting. From the river to the sea, Christmas will be free. I like Ed's idea better. Let's go to Brian in Brookfield. You're on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Hello, Dan. Yeah, I think the lady from TOSA, she's correct in that symbol being on the street signs. There's history to that. It was a crucifix. Always has been. There was a battle back in the late 80s, early 90s in the public there in Tulsa where the city wanted to get rid of that crucifix symbol from there. I think there was a compromise that went down, and Tulsa declared it. That's not a crucifix anymore. It's T for Tulsa. That's how it was resolved. I kid you not. I lived through listening to all that garbage.
Oh, that is hysterical. I was too young to remember that. I would have been 8, 9 years old when that controversy happened. But could anything be more Tosa than that? I think not. Merry Christmas to you. I mean, happy non-denominational winter-themed gift-giving holiday to you all. We'll be right back. Dan O'Donnell for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. We can't control inflation and skyrocketing prices, but there is something that can be done at home. Dramatically lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors. Pella Windows and Doors can have them installed in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payments for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Bring the love of Wisconsin's outdoors in through the beauty and quality craftsmanship of Pella Windows and Doors. Whether you're updating or upgrading the look and comfort of your home, Pella has extensive lines of customizable options to meet your needs and your budget. 0% interest, no down payments for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Do you know you need a new roof? Of course you do. For award-winning service and a free consultation, visit Klaus Roofing Systems by BuckBuckley.com. And remember, put a Klaus on your house.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Everything they say in their ads is true and then some. A very fair price, no real estate agent fees or closing costs. They even switched the utilities out of your name.
Within weeks, we had closed and couldn't be happier.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
I'm Dan Small. We'll talk safe hunting this week on Outdoors Radio, Saturday morning at 6 on News Talk 1130 WISN, brought to you by the Wisconsin DNR, with a reminder to be sure of your target. Don't shoot at movement. dnr.wi.gov.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services, and I'm so proud to be a father, a husband, an entrepreneur, a Christian, and an American. My wife Amy and I did our best to educate our children about our reasons for embracing traditional values. This summer, Amy and I became empty nesters, and now our young adults are in the real world with the American dream in their heads, their hearts, and soon it will be in their hands to share with others. God is good. Marriage and children are a blessing. Capitalism works, and America is grand. She is rich with beautiful places to explore. She's a melting pot of beautiful people. Diverse? Yes. But we are still blessed to have so much in common. Ignore the politicians and the media who sow seeds of hate. Let's embrace the wonders of life, liberty, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness in America. Join me in discovering the wonders of nature and the wonders of America.
Jay Weber here. When I traveled to San Antonio as part of my first Great Escape, I really didn't know what to expect. And let me tell you, I was blown away because San Antonio has all of my favorite elements needed for a long weekend away. History, culture, incredible food, and Cruise and Tour chose a hotel in the perfect location, right on San Antonio's famous Riverwalk, which was just recently voted the #1 attraction in Texas. Now it's your turn to explore San Antonio as part of WISN's Great Escape series. Next April, you can discover the Alamo, Mission San Jose, the LBJ Ranch, which is really interesting. You'll visit a Texas Dude Ranch, the German settlement of Fredericksburg, and more. And of course, you'll enjoy some legendary Texas barbecue along the way, all in the company of a fun-loving group of fellow WISN listeners. If you really want to experience San Antonio, go to cruise-tour.com. That's cruise-tour.com, or call 800-383-3131. But hurry, space is limited, and these closer-to-home vacations fill up quickly. Lock in your spot today. 1-800-383-3131.
Don't get stranded. Have your battery tested for free at Batteries Plus. We carry top quality replacement batteries and offer free installation on most makes and models. Visit us in person or shop online at batteriesplus.com.
I'm Dr. Dan Ross of Ross Dental New Berlin and our second Ross Dental Waukesha location. In dentistry, technology improves your experience ongoing if your dentist keeps up. We do. Most dentists finish same-day dental restorations the next visit, or the visit after that, after you're fitted with a temporary restoration. At Ross Dental, you come in with one tooth or teeth in need of substantial restoration and leave the same day with a fully restored, beautiful smile. With Ross's Sedation Dentistry, we can even replace a whole upper or lower arch of severely damaged or decayed teeth painlessly and quickly. Using Ross Dental's cutting-edge CEREC, I scan your prep tooth and send the precise AutoCAD-generated dimensions to our in-house mill. You relax. A filling or crown matching your natural tooth enamel is fabricated in minutes for perfect same-day, healthful, permanent restoration. With Ross Dental's affordable financing and convenient New Berlin and Waukesha locations, you can schedule same-day restorations, and very soon you'll smile like you just don't care, because you don't. RossDentalWI.com. That's RossDentalWI.com.
Looking for your next adventure? Cedar Community invites adults 55 and better to live beyond the ordinary. Explore lake living at The Lofts at Cedar Lake, located just 40 minutes north of Milwaukee. The Lofts at Cedar Lake offer private, independent living residences. Every detail has been thoughtfully designed to provide comfort, convenience, and carefree living. Cedar Community offers lake living in the heart of the Kettle Moraine, surrounded by nature. To learn more, visit cedarcommunity.org. That's cedarcommunity.org.
The bell ringers are out. When you're out shopping, please stop by, say hello, and help give this holiday season.
This is just too funny. Guess what's on the Wauwatosa seal, which is on pretty much every street sign in the city? The words, "In God We Trust." We do have some edification on the street sign controversy. There was a lawsuit. The original crest was designed by a schoolgirl decades and decades and decades ago as part of a contest, and she put the Christian cross as a nod to all of Wauwatosa's churches. Well, there was a lawsuit about this, so they settled with "In God We Trust," which apparently was more inclusive. Has this city administrator just not noticed the crest, which is on everything in Wauwatosa? She's so offended by red and green decorations. Now, I think here's what we do. With a nod to all of the leftists who have been out for the past month celebrating the slaughter of Jewish people in Israel. Oh, excuse me. No. They totally aren't doing that. When they're chanting glory to the martyrs and when people are occupied, resistance is justified, and from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. They're chanting and rallying in support of the oppressed Palestinians. I say we gather together, the Dan O'Donnell Show Army. take to the streets of Wauwatosa this Saturday. I've even got some chants that we can say. No Christmas, no peace. No Christmas, no peace. Instead of glory to the martyrs, how about glory to the reindeers? When the North Pole is occupied, resistance is justified. And of course, we need to stand up for the oppressed in society with our simple, our powerful chant, Elf Lives Matter. Time for a Jen Psaki update.
I'll circle back if there's more I can share with you. But I'll circle back with you if there's more to convey. I'll have to just circle back with you. Circle back. Circle back. Circle back. Circle back.
She is no longer our favorite Circleback press secretary, but rather our favorite Circleback MSNBC Sunday host. And she is very, very, very concerned that Donald Trump will get back in office and start prosecuting his political enemies.
Guess what? Joe Biden isn't perfect. No candidate is, by the way. But we have to understand what the alternative is here. If elected to a second term, Donald Trump would prosecute anyone he deems an enemy, unleash troops on protesters, and essentially unravel the rule of law as we know it.
I mean, I know we haven't been doing as many Jen Psaki updates lately. She hasn't been in a coma for the past year, has she? Because prosecuting political enemies is happening right now.
We've just gotten word former President Donald Trump has been indicted by a grand jury in New York.
Donald Trump and his lawyers have just been informed about 20 minutes ago that the former president needs to be at a federal court in Miami on Tuesday at 3 p.m. to be processed on federal charges.
A federal grand jury has voted to indict the former president for his attempt to overturn the results of an election he lost.
Breaking news tonight, a grand jury in Georgia has returned an indictment in connection with former President Donald Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
By my count, that is 4 different indictments, all timed perfectly so that the trials take place during the election season in 2024. Well, Jen had on Jamie Raskin, Democrat, who, well, said one of the more outrageous and ironic things I've heard in the past month.
The role of the government, in his view, is to advance his political fortunes and destroy his political enemies. So what would a second term look like? It would look a lot like Vladimir Putin in Russia. It would look a lot like Viktor Orban in Hungary. Illiberal democracy, meaning democracy without rights or liberties or respect for the due process system, the rule of law. And in fact, there's not much democracy left to it because their position is that they don't accept the integrity of any election where they lose. And that is a hallmark of an authoritarian party. They don't accept elections that don't go their ways. They refuse to disavow political violence. They embrace political violence as an instrument for obtaining power. And then everything flows from the will of a charismatic politician, and that is Donald Trump. In their book. So we're clearly headed into a completely different form of government than any of us would recognize.
I mean, he totally just described his own Democratic Party there, didn't he? It's Maryland Representative Jamie Raskin. Let's listen to this again and break it down into its component parts.
The role of the government, in his view, is to advance his political fortunes and destroy his political enemies. So what would a second term look like? It would look a lot like Vladimir Putin in Russia. It would look a lot like Viktor Orban in Hungary. Illiberal democracy, meaning
the demonization and all but outlawing of political enemies, right? Here's Biden from last September.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence. that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy.
Sounds sort of Putin-esque to me. Back to Raskin.
Democracy without rights or liberties or respect for the due process system, the rule of law. And in fact, there's not much democracy left to it because their position is that they don't accept the integrity of any election where they lose.
Really? Like, say, Democrats objecting in 2000, 2004, and 2016?
Mr. President, I stand for the purpose of objecting to the counting of the vote from the state of Florida as read.
I am objecting to the idea that votes in Florida were not counted.
We are here because not a single election official in Ohio has given us any explanation for the massive and widespread irregularity in the state. No explanation for the machines in Mahoning County that recorded carry votes for Bush.
I object to the votes from the state of Wisconsin.
I object to the certificate from the state of Georgia.
I object to the certificate from the state of North Carolina.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina.
Back to you, Mr. Raskin. By the way, that was every single time a Republican won the presidency this century.
And that is a hallmark of an authoritarian party. They don't accept elections that don't go their ways. They refuse to disavow political violence.
Really? Political violence like, say, I don't know, riots in support of George Floyd, the fiery but mostly peaceful protests in Kenosha, rhetoric like this at pro-Palestinian rallies all across the country over the past month following the systemic slaughter of 1,200, I guess Israel did revise down that number, 1,200 innocent Jewish people.
Palestinians have a right to rebel. What that means is they have a right to fight to free their land from the river to the sea by any means necessary. And I do mean any means necessary.
Any means necessary. Mr. Raskin, back to you.
Embrace political violence as an instrument for obtaining power. And then everything flows from the will of a charismatic politician, and that is Donald Trump in their book. So we're clearly headed into a completely different form of government than any of us would recognize.
Clearly, Congressman, thanks to your party, we're already there and have been there for quite some time.
While most other furniture finishers restore wood furniture using high-pressure water to remove old lacquer and varnish, we only use a chemical solvent. Because when you use water, it will eventually raise the grain, loosen glue joints, and lift veneer. So if you have something really special that you'd like to restore, call us. For the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. If you want your restored antique piece to remain primitive, no problem. Maybe you want to restore it to as good as new condition. We can do that. The way we work is based solely on what your needs are. And that seems to make the process of restoring your unique piece almost always a positive one. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. With summer in our rearview mirror, it's time for Truck Month at Lynch with Silverados, Sierras, Rams, and F-150s, heavy duties and diesels. Lynch has them all, and they have over 400 trucks on the ground right now. Nobody sells for less than Lynch, and nobody has you better protected than Lynch. With a standard 3-month, 3,000-mile certified warranty on pre-owned vehicles, they also cover your windshield, road hazards, and paint. They really know how to take care of you and your family, and that's why I tell all my friends about Lynch. Get ready for the fall and tailgate season. It's Truck Month, with over 400 trucks in stock at the Lynch family of dealerships. Shop now online at shoplynch.com. Once again, that's shoplynch.com.
This Thanksgiving, spend more time with your loved ones and leave the meal preparation to us. At Sendix, we offer full traditional turkey dinners or just the sides, all homemade in-store, then packed in reheatable containers. Choose from a wide selection of gourmet appetizers and signature trays, too. Spend less time in the kitchen and more time with family this holiday season. Reserve your meal at Sendix.com/holiday. From our family to yours, have a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Sendix Food Markets, your trusted local grocer.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands. The iHeartRadio app and the NFL right in your pocket. The home of the NFL Podcast Network, covering all 32 NFL teams, plus all the expert advice to win your fantasy league. And, of course, live NFL games. Touchdown! Download the free iHeartRadio app today. Free never sounded so good.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week quick start kit. It's only $19.95. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. And feel the difference of Relief Factor.
Get ready, Wisconsin. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Wisconsin. Trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The next generation is here. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Another weekend, another pair of losses for the Wisconsin Badgers and the Green Bay Packers. Which one was more of a kick in the you-know-whats? Badgers getting blown out by Northwestern at home had to be a big one. My producer was at that game and left after jump around. Probably smart. I would have left after the first quarter, but it was your wife's first time at Camp Randall, so you had to stay for jump around, which is one of the best traditions in college football. Packers lose 23-19, final play of the game. Is it wrong that I in my heart, I knew that Love was going to throw a pick at the goal line? I just kind of knew it. Yes, they forced it because really that was half a Hail Mary. Anyway, yes, it was the fumble that wasn't a fumble was absolutely a bad call. It was not a forward pass. Packers did get robbed. That said, they do fall to 3-6 and look to be going nowhere fast. I am now fully on board the tank for Marvin Harrison Jr. No? Yeah, you tank in football. Dave says you risk angering the football gods by tanking. All right, I see that logic. You don't want to mess with karma. We are out of time here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Had a lot of fun. More fun coming tomorrow. Talk to you then.